of the Avengers. One last fight.
Be Doctor Doom. Victor Von Doom is the greatest single character in the entire MCU, bar none. Now, you can keep anyone else. Give me Doctor Doom against anyone, because Victor suffers, and you will now suffer. You know, that's why it's a no-brainer. He's the first character to ever have a substantive backstory that we could understand and that gives context both in the old traditional Cold War minor state kind of idea and also as someone who really got disfigured, got his family taken from him, and then takes all that, takes his skill, has the wounds, has to wear the mask and continues on to do what he does. The Fantastic Four suck, right? They suck, full stop. They're sort of like Marvel's first attempt to make a group, and they suck, right? That's why the X-Men rule and Fantastic Four suck. However, the Fantastic Four birthed the Skrulls and they birthed Doctor Doom. So while they suck, they also gave rise to the greatest two villain groups and single villain ever. Give me Victor Von Doom. Give me the success from that lame-ass group of like, flame on!
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel dropped another Secret Invasion clip all about the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom. They're also getting ready to announce the full cast of the new Fantastic Four movie pretty soon, so we'll break it all down. Really love hearing the Marvel actors being such huge fans of those characters and so well read. Like, you can definitely tell Ben Mendelsohn knows his shit.
Give me Victor Von Doom.
If you're new to the channel, I'm doing videos for all the Secret Invasion episodes. Be sure to subscribe to get them. We're also doing a giveaway for Disney Plus memberships. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and let me know where you want all the Fantastic Four characters and villains like Doctor Doom to cross over in the upcoming Marvel movies. The really cool thing about this new Secret Invasion video is, one, how much of a Doctor Doom stan Ben Mendelsohn is in real life. He's a genuine comic book fan. You can tell he gets the Fantastic Four characters and the X-Men too. The reasons why he's talking so much about them is both because Marvel's getting ready to debut new versions of all those characters. Like, we have the new Fantastic Four movie coming. Doctor Doom will also appear in a different upcoming Marvel movie. There've already been a bunch of Easter eggs for all those characters in like John Krasinski's version of Reed Richards inside Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And there's the new X-Men solo movie that they'll release later on. Not to forget, they're also doing the X-Men, the animated series, X-Men 97, Season 1. It's kind of like the continuation of X-Men, the animated series. That's supposed to come at the beginning of next year, too. And I will do videos for it when it does arrive. But on top of all this, Ben Mendelsohn just grew up during an era when all those characters, Fantastic Four, X-Men, were the most popular characters in Marvel Comics, next to people like Spider-Man. The X-Men basically ruled the 80s and the 90s just from a sales perspective. That's why it was such a big deal when Marvel Phase 1 happened and the first few movies to Avengers went so well, because even though Robert Downey Jr. was fantastic as Iron Man, at the time, Iron Man was viewed as a B-tier character in the comics. So was Captain America, Thor, Hawkeye, Black Widow. Kevin Feige has talked about this a lot, like it was a huge deal because they were like, how can we make this huge franchise of movies with a bunch of characters that nobody cares about right now in the comics? Cut to a few years later, they did pretty well, I think. But from a sheer pop culture sales perspective, Spider-Man is probably one of the most, if not the most, popular character of all time from the comics. The next closest ones would be like Batman and Superman. Everybody else, for the most part, is like way, way lower on the sales charts. That's why when Marvel went bankrupt in the 90s and had to sell rights to its characters, the Spider-Man rights and the X-Men rights, Fantastic Four, were snatched up by Sony and Fox right away, and they didn't really care about the Marvel Phase 1 characters like Iron Man, Captain America, because at the time, no one thought that they'd make for good movies. Like, nobody cares about them. If we make a movie about them, it's not going to make any money. How wrong they were. One of the other major Fantastic Four Easter eggs during Secret Invasion is the Super Skrull.
Citizens of planet Earth, I am Super Skrull, emissary of the Imperial Skrull Expeditionary Forces. I have been appointed by Emperor Amok to be your new leader.
So the whole concept of the Super Skrull is in the comics, he was one character that was created by the Skrull Emperor at the time to fight the Fantastic Four characters back in the original comics. He was given the powers of all the Fantastic Four characters, and they had an Easter egg for that during Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, where you see Johnny Storm, some of the other characters, use multiple powers from all the different characters at the same time.
To quote a friend of mine, it's clobbering time.
What it seems like they're doing in the Secret Invasion series, though, is that they're grafting powers from a bunch of different Marvel-based characters that they've already done in the movies, like Easter eggs for previous Marvel movies, and it'll be a bunch of Super Skrulls. The other major reason why they're talking so much about Fantastic Four during the Secret Invasion clip is because the Skrulls are primarily Fantastic Four characters. They debuted in Fantastic Four #2 back in the 60s. The reason why you didn't see a ton of Fantastic Four references or characters in the first Captain Marvel movie when they introduced Skrulls to the MCU was because at the time, Marvel hadn't got the rights back to its characters, the Fox Disney deal hadn't gone down yet, so they couldn't use any of those Fantastic Four or X-Men at the time. Now that's different. We're getting Deadpool 3. There's going to be a bunch of those Fox versions of the X-Men and Fantastic Four characters coming back. It's going to be sort of like the Spider-Man No Way Home for the Fox Marvel characters. Really hoping Chris Evans also comes back and cameos as his Johnny Storm. He did say that he would be willing to do that. He'd be way quicker to come back as Johnny Storm than he would be as his Captain America. But generally, the Fox Disney deal having gone down a couple years ago is why you're seeing so many Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom Easter eggs, even X-Men Easter eggs in the current Marvel movies and TV shows. Like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, probably the best example of that, like literally seeing a version of Reed Richards. There's been some X-Men Easter eggs, but the first real big X-Men thing that's going to be happening will be in Deadpool 3. Right now during the Secret Invasion episodes, though, Reed Richards, Ben Grimm, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, even Doctor Doom, not supposed to show up during those episodes. But a lot of what Nick Fury and the Good Skrulls are doing with the Saber space station will connect with the Fantastic Four characters. Primarily because they're a space-based team that just happens to live on planet Earth. Like most of the biggest Fantastic Four villains come from space somewhere. Galactus, for example, is supposed to be one of the metaphorically and literally biggest characters in the new Fantastic Four movie. There are even reports that Antonio Banderas would be playing the character, so you have to imagine like the Puss in Boots sounding version of Galactus. He does have a really good speaking voice, though. He'll make you feel really good about yourself as he destroys your planet. In the present day of the MCU, though, there are some rumors that they're actually going to do the Fantastic Four movie plot just a little bit differently. The big twist is that it might wind up being a period piece set in the 1960s in a time travel adventure where they're kicked back into time through an experiment that goes wrong and they have to find their way back to present by the events of Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty. But ultimately, the new Fantastic Four characters will be interacting with the present-day Avengers. Marvel just canceled their Comic-Con plans. Like, there's no big Marvel panel that's going to be happening. They were going to announce the cast of the Fantastic Four there. And even though there were a bunch of actors that were announced a while ago, reportedly, some of those actors have passed because of the delays with all the strikes. Like, pretty much everything has been delayed indefinitely through the summer. Reportedly, right now, the only actor that's locked in is Daveed Diggs as the Thing. So if you weren't happy with some of the casting choices that were announced a little while ago, it sounds like those actors won't wind up playing the characters, so you should be safe. Let me know in the comments who you want to play all those characters, even though most people believe that it will not wind up being John Krasinski coming back as another alternate reality version of Reed Richards. And the other big change they're making is that Doctor Doom isn't supposed to be in the new Fantastic Four movie. He's not going to be a villain in the first movie. He might be referenced in some way, but he's not supposed to be a big character during that. He'll appear in some other Marvel movie. I think part of the reason for that is they're leaning into the whole technology versus magic. Like, he's meant to be a man of both magic and science. So he's a character that works in Iron Man technology-based stories, but he also works in Doctor Strange magic-based stories too. So you could put him in pretty much any Marvel story that you would want to tell. And I think part of the idea with this new version of the Fantastic Four characters is that Marvel wants to do something that hasn't been done before, so they don't want the characters to be exactly like they were during the Fox Fantastic Four movies. And they started to get into that during Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but reportedly they took out a lot of the Doctor Doom Easter eggs that they had planned on early when they started to do the Namor character. My full Secret Invasion Episode 3 video will post next week after it releases. There's a bunch of big stuff happening too. A new Ahsoka trailer is supposed to release. I'll do a video for that. You can click here for my Secret Invasion Episode 3 video and click here for that brand new Ahsoka trailer. I'll update the link as soon as I post that. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.